Hey guys, my name is Tim. I'm the master mechanic at Zeiten BMW Mobile Services, and today in this video is a grand finale for the cheapest X5 project that for some of you know, I bought it a couple months back, and now it's finally completely done. I'm done with it. I'm happy I'm done with it, and I'll go with a little history of the car, what has been expected, what has been done, how much it cost, all of that further down the line. And so here she is. Let's start with the history of the car. So this car has been sitting for 4 years, and I bought it for as little as $2,000. The reason why, and from what the previous owner told me, we had multiple issues here and there, like ABS light, the DSC light, come on, the car doesn't start, the battery drains, like whatever, like so many issues. It's been sitting on ugliest 22-inch wheels, which as you can see right now, not there no more. So let's do a little breakdown of what happened. In order to register this car, I need to smog this car. So first thing we do is, and of course I need to start the car. It's been sitting for a while, and if you check the videos on our channel, you can see everything that I've done to it. So just please go check out the videos. They are recent ones from this one, so yeah, go ahead and do it. First thing first, the battery replacement. This the battery cost was $255, so we got that done. The next thing, of course, the car doesn't start. Starter replacement. The starter is about $200. I'm gonna be doing the breakdown, what it costs, parts only now, and then later on what it would cost you, let's say if you hiring someone like me to fix the car like this for you. So we'll see the difference and the answer to the question, is it worth it in the end of the day? There you go. Then the car finally starts and we have two completely shot front tires. So I gotta take the tires, those 22-inch rims, to the tire shop and replace the tires. What did it cost me? $280 on top of everything else. So once I got it to the garage, well, of course, the washing and everything, putting air in the tires, of course. The rear tires were pretty good, like those were pretty new, and I think the car ran on those for like 3,000 or 4,000 miles. That's it. The rest, they've been just sitting there. So I decided to, well, of course, scan the car, see what's going on. What I found out after a few starts, of course, that the ABS sensor was faulty and it was kind of draining the battery. So replace that. That's $155, parts only. After that, I had the fault code for the MTL pump, which is a leak detection pump. So I purchased the part. It was $80, but the fault code was intermittent, and I decided, like, well, let's try and drive it, see what happens. On the first drive on the freeway, it was a horrible shaking car, and I also was losing pressure in the rear tire, to later find out that it was a cracked rim. So I decided to still give it a couple of rounds. It's been shaking, but to my surprise, after this like 20-30 mile drive, like going around the freeways, the car was ready for smog. So I took it to smog and just smogged it. Without any issues at all, everything was fine. The car was operational completely. So smog check, $50. Then of course I needed to dig deeper into like what caused the car to be abandoned like this, like what happened honestly. While I was driving it, it's not even a harsh acceleration. Like if you step on the gas a little bit and it just the dynamic stability control flashes, that means like I knew it. It's those wheels, those 22-inch wheels are too big for this car on too slim of a tire. Like it's too bad. that's the reason why it was constantly flashing and it was cutting power off. That's probably one of the reasons the car has been sitting for a while. I wanted to make this project as low cost as possible, so I was thinking of like, oh well, all right, like I'll sell the car with those wheels, but maybe I needed to rebalance the rear tires for it not to shake violently on the freeway, even though I still thought that's too big of a tire. So I took the rim to weld, and that's not that simple as it sounds. So I took the rim off the car, put it in another car, drove to tire shop, take the tire off, take just the rim, and then drive it to the rim repair shop, leave it there. So it's a lot of back and forth in there. So the rim is finally welded. I bring it back to the tire shop. They put the tire on, test it, and it's still cracked. It still leaks air. It's in the front. They can't weld it. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate those wheels. I can't stand them. So I brought the wheel back, put it on the car. It's been sitting. We try to shoot everything about this car, but obviously we can't do everything. So it takes a while, like once a week we can do something about it. So yeah, bear with me. After that, it's been sitting for a little bit, and I'm finally searching online for a proper deal for the wheels. So I find those 19-inch on run flat tires from 2016 X5. It's a next generation X5. It's like all in good condition, and I bought it for $450. So those wheels are awesome. Well, another funny story about those wheels. The guy who was selling them, like he asked me like, you want me to clean them up a bit? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? They've been sitting for a while. So he washed them off, got water in them. So only thing I did, I just put some air in it, and I then installed those wheels on the car, and then instantly the vibration on acceleration gone. The DSC is not flashing, everything's good. But once I took it to higher speeds, around 55-60 miles, vibrate violently like never before. So it's going crazy, absolutely crazy there. And I'm like, yeah, I remember when I put the air in there, I remember the water splashing in there. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So I brought it back to tire shop, and I also needed to swap the tire pressure sensors from old wheels to the new wheels. I brought everything in there, so they did that. I also asked them to separate rims and tires, because at this point I was thinking like, yeah, the tires are still good. One pair of fronts are brand new, less than 100 miles on them, and a pair of rears like 3,000 miles on them maybe. So that was a pretty good point of selling those tires only, because on wheels, one of them is cracked, and one of them, like, I mean, all of them are in horrible condition. Like, I hate them. Like, it's a horror story. So installation, moving everything around is another $100. So wheels $450, the new ones, and $100 for installation and the swap of the tire pressure sensors. Those prices accurate now, and I have obviously some connections with automotive people, and that's the shop I always go for all my tires, all my cars, all my customers' cars. So I definitely have a discount there. It might be different for someone else. It might be cheaper, it might be more expensive in different areas, so you know. Then the saga with the wheels continues, because I just can't reset the tire pressure monitor system. Reasons? One of the sensors went bad. I went back to the shop, we checked all the sensors, and finally, like, yeah, I had on my scanner front left, so we replaced that, and finally everything works. But once again, during this period of time, I get the codes for DMTL and the purge valve. So the DMTL is $80 that I bought before, as you know it. I replaced that, and the purge valve was $90, so replaced that as well. Then time came, and I definitely felt that the AC is not cold anymore. First thing you gotta do is fill it up with Freon. So it's $60 for Freon, and it works beautiful now. That's the AC recharge. Tire pressure sensor replacement is $75. The other thing I had to do is replace all pads and all rotors because they were so damaged that I just simply couldn't drive the car enough to grind it off, and it's just like they were making noise, and they were just looking ugly, and they always would be. So I replaced all that, and that cost $430 on parts only. And that's actually, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all the expenses I had for the car. And a bit later on, I sold those wheels that were 22-inch, almost new, all of them, for $480. So I even made some money on those tires, and got my money back from the new ones I got. And of course, somewhere along this timeline, I registered the car, and that was expensive. Like 4 years of just sitting, $998. So I'll round it up to 1,000 even. That means in total I spent on this whole project $4,820. Well, I'd say there's some miscellaneous expenses like washing, like this and that, another $80, so it's $4,900 even, maybe $5,000 max. That's pretty much it. That's what it cost me. And in my opinion, like, yeah, that's I got kind of lucky with this one because there was basically nothing wrong with it in a sense of significant engine failures, or even like small things like ignition coils, like all of them are fine. Like I never had any misfires on this car. Oh, one more thing I forgot, oil change, but we'll put it in miscellaneous, so it's like that's fine. So let's see, what would it cost you if you bought a project like this and called me to come and fix it for you? Well, first of all, we would go with the, well, let's say starter replacement only. That would cost you $650, parts and labor included. After that, we'll continue with battery replacement and IBS sensor replacement, since I would already scan the car, and that would cost you $550 on parts and labor total. And then we'll go probably with the DMTL because I had the code, and that would run you about $200. And I would definitely recommend you replacing pads and rotors, and that would cost you around $1,050 in parts and labor. And finally, the purge valve, of course, $180, parts and labor. And we'll include here and there like the miscellaneous expenses like the oil change. That would be like $130, $140. So the total I have for the total cost of this project for you would be around $6,400. So in that instance, it's kind of worth it, I would say, because those cars right now, they're running for, I would say, with this mileage, this condition, this and that, like I'd say between 9 and 12,000. It depends on which market you are in. I'm definitely going to be selling this one. I don't need another X5. I have one just like that. Let me share a theory why I think this car has been abandoned. Previous owner just put those new 22-inch wheels on the car and probably has been city driving it, because during the city drives it's fine, and then took it on the freeway. But it's been the DSC probably was flashing. He brought it to the shop. Didn't know better probably, so they couldn't find an issue. And then the IBS sensor went out, so the battery has been draining, so he replaced the battery. Then more issues came out, like the DSC and ABS and all of those. Probably eventually they just were permanent lights, and he couldn't drive it anymore, or didn't want to, I don't know, so he just put it in there wherever it is. And then the starter died, and he brought it to the shop again, and the shop diagnosed the car like, well, as far as I remember, they stated the alternator failure, which was completely not true, but the quote for it was, and mind you, it's 4 years ago, $1,700 to replace the alternator on this one. That's just nuts. And he had previous issues and like this and that. So they told him like they replaced the crankshaft position sensors, but they never did. I could see that it's not a new sensor in there, it's an old one. So the guy just gave up on the car pretty much. But as you guys can see, I didn't do anything special to it. Yes, tire replacement. Yes, I have my scanners and knowledge and everything, but there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the car. So before you just abandon the car, simply get a second opinion, maybe. And in the end of the day, it turned out to be a pretty good project, and that lots of people could have make money on it. Like I'll definitely put it for sale, let's say for 11,000. See what happens, maybe sell it for 9. But that's this project is not about the money. It was it's just the curiosity got the best of me, because I was just simply intrigued, like why is the car sitting for 4 years in relatively good shape? Like I don't know. So I was willing to bet on a starter and to test my theory, basically. So there you have it, guys. I hope this project was entertaining for you. In conclusion, all I want to say is it worth it for you guys to buy a project like this? Maybe, maybe not. It's always a gamble, and you never know for sure what you're getting with the cars that's been abandoned for a while. And try it, you may have some luck, maybe not, but if it's worth more than you can afford, don't do it. And I hope this project was definitely entertaining for you guys, and if you like this kind of videos, please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Maybe we'll buy something else next time, and thank you guys for watching. See you next time, and don't break your cars.